Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the last day. You made it. So excited for you all. Go ahead and put in the chat where you're tuning in from. And if you've been with us all week, this has been a blast. And all of the work that you've turned in has been truly amazing. Very, very thankful for everyone to contribute and participate. And it's been so great. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm good. How about y'all? I mean, what a movie this has been, huh? I mean, there's so much that I've learned from every one of you. You've sent in messages. You've called out. You've celebrated. We've really built something here together. So shout out to everybody. I mean, what a time.
Yes, amazing. So we have a great last day for you today. So we're going to be talking about human-centered AI. So I will be doing the first part and a little bit about accessibility and ethics. And then Sam's going to jump in and do the remaining part and talk about vibe coding. So we have a lot of exciting content today. We have someone also joining us from CU Boulder, and she's going to talk a little bit about the program at the very end that we have masters in AI here. So a lot to get through today, so I'm not going to waste any time. Also, I want to just say thank you for everyone that has reached out to me or the Gen AI team. It's been awesome. And we will get back to you. If we haven't gotten back to you, we're trying to sort through and answer as many emails and messages on LinkedIn as we can. So bear with us, and we will get back with you. People with questions about whether or not they turned in their assignments and things like that, we'll send out another message in regards to that on how you can figure out if all of your submissions have been turned in. We do have a list of everything, so we will touch base after this, and we will be in contact with you in regards to that as well.
Yeah, and I saw some questions already. We will be reposting the cool link today, so you're in the right place. Go call your friends, go email your people you know, let them know to join on in, because the credits will be given today. That's 10x what you could usually get directly from our platform here. And then all links, all resources, all recordings, you're going to see her say it again, are all in the Academy. So for anyone, I think it was Mrs. or Mr. White O'Connor, that's where you get it. It's in the Academy.
Awesome. And thank you so much. I have a link that one of the participants shared with me, Michael Mulholland. Thank you, Michael. And he went through and checked that you can have Perplexity Pro for 12 months free. So if you want to do that, we will be posting that in the chat, and then I can post that in the slides as well. And it's really nice. Obviously, I showed you how to use Perplexity yesterday. So if you have a chance to get access to the free 12-month subscription, highly recommend it. Highly recommend using those tools, and you can try the different models in there as well. So we will continue to post that to the chat. Thank you so much, Andrew, for sharing that with everyone, and we can do that throughout the time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my slides. We're going to get going. We got a lot to get through today. And let me share my screen and we'll get rolling. All right. Okay, well, welcome to your last day. Congratulations, everybody. So exciting. All right, the grand finale, human-centered AI and vibe coding, day 5. Woohoo! All right, once again, if this is your first time coming, Larissa Schwartz, I'm going to go real quick. Gen AI instructor, PhD student at CU Boulder. And Sam, say what's up. And then we have Paula, Nagar, Maria, and Josna, and Professor Tom Yang. All right, so you were asking about this. Gen AI community offer is extended. Here is your QR code. So fill that out today. This will be open until 12 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure that you fill the form out today so you can get those free credits.
Yes, just so everyone knows, this is how it works. You create an account on Cool with an email. You use that same email to send in the form. And then that's where they can use the email that you tied to your account to then pour those credits into your account. So just for those that don't know or wondering, how does it work? You sign up on a Cool, so create an account, then you use that same email to put into the form, and then that's when they'll go through at the end of the classes, things like that, grab all the emails, and then upload points to everyone's accounts. So if you're having any issues, again, let us know, but that's the process for those that haven't had a chance to capitalize yet.
Great. Thank you, Sam. All right. So we'll go ahead and make sure everyone's got that QR code. I'll give you just a minute.
Yeah, everyone's able to get it. Who hasn't been able to access this link yet? Let us know in the comments. If not, go ahead and try it. Is that the Cookie Monster? Is that like our new image? I see somebody drop the Cookie Monster emoji for the So let's see if I get a shirt with the with Cookie Monster. That's pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna move on to certification. So I extended the deadline yesterday. So make sure that you get in everything by Wednesday, September 17th, please. If there's any issues, please reach out, let us know, but give you 2 extra days. So hopefully you can get everything turned in. Remember, everyone is on different time zones. Everyone's all over the place in all parts of the world. So if you can just get it in by Wednesday, your time, anytime on Wednesday, that would be great. And then we're going to take a look at it on Thursday and see all of the information that you all turned in. By the way, all the stuff, like I mentioned earlier, has been outstanding. You guys have done exceptional work. It has been truly amazing. Thank you all also for submitting the work yesterday. We are not going to share that today. That is some of the information that you all were researching. So we'll go ahead and continue through the lesson today. But thank you once again for submitting all that. Very, very exciting, and just even more excited to see all the final products after today. All right. So we'll be talking about vibe methods. So what are you going to build next?
Before you play, let me just say a little something real quick. So
yeah, go ahead.
You guys have mentioned so much to us about how you want to continually learn. And so we took that message. I mean, from people from Estonia all the way to Colorado to I think some people from Antarctica. I don't know. Like, just the world is spoken. And one of the biggest things is having ability to consistently learn and consistently get a visibility into what is going on with the AI evolution. And, we looked at that. We tried to figure out what was the best value we could provide there. And so what I'm excited to share with you is a new solution that we're going to be releasing soon. Some of you have already subscribed to it. Shout out to our early subscribers. It's called Vibe Methods. And so for those that don't know, vibe coding exists, but what is really happening with a lot of these agentic tools is all different industries are developing this concept of being able to do the job via vibes. So if you think about what does that mean? What it means is that people are able to do things like go-to-market strategy, development, planning without actually having to have the coding or the technical skills in those spaces. And so that vibe capability is really extend to all kinds of methods. Because if you break down any job or any task to be done, there's a series of underlying methods that must be complete to achieve that outcome. And so we took those two things together, and we wanted to make everything that you needed live, so you have a consistent thing you can subscribe to. And then every week you get the latest news, not just explained to you, not just shared, but broken down and provided in the form of actionable builds and setup. So this video gives you a real quick view into what Vibe Method is, but I'm so excited to bring this to you because this is going to be something that lets you see the news on Monday and capitalize on it by Wednesday. So thanks, everybody. Let's take a look.
The future of AI artists.
Not be the one to build intelligence.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know how y'all feel about that. Y'all ready for the next biggest thing in education?
All right.
Oh,
amazing. How exciting. All right. So once again, Gen AI is going to announce a bonus offer for those who have completed the Academy survey by the end of today's session. And once again, recordings are also on YouTube. So if you are unable to access the live sessions, please come to the YouTube channel and take a look at the videos from this week. And the QR code is down here in the bottom right.
and the crowd's going crazy. They're like, how do we join? Where is it at? Where's the link? So we'll get all that to you. More coming soon.
Okay. Do you want me to leave the QR code up right now for everyone?
Oh, yeah, we can just leave it for a second. But no. People were asking about vibe methods. Like, how do we get access to that? But for everyone that knows, you can get the link to the recordings all over our academy, as well as you'll be able to find us on YouTube. So definitely easy to access. So let us know if you have any issues. Oh, the form, they're saying they denied access to the form. Can we make sure we have the form enabled on our side? Give us a second. Is it turned on as enabled? Okay, let me go here.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to keep Okay, so congrats, you've completed the last day of Intro to Gen AI Journey. Woohoo! So once again, class recordings, decks, the tasks, submission to the assignments, and any other resources are on the Gen AI Academy. You can go to the course hub, find the desired day, and then expand it to see. As we've showed you previously, you can expand that. QR code is here. And then once again, make sure that everything is submitted by September 17th. Okay, and here is the free access to the intro to the vibe coding course. So this is going to be on the slide deck as well. Do you want me to stay on this for a second, Sam?
Yeah, just for everybody that signed up on the form, you'll see that there's dates down at the bottom where you're booking times. What we're going to be doing is starting on Monday, we'll send out the message, but every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll have these smaller mini workshops. Be one-day session. We'll cover some concepts in vibe coding or vibe design, which vibe design is just using the same technologies you learned this week for image, video, and sound. So we'll be able to, in every one of those sessions, go a little bit deeper and do a lot more hands-on building. And so those would be Tuesday and Thursday every week through October. Just let us know which time you prefer on there, and then you'll be included in the email outreaches for those days. And hey, we get to do some more depth of work together where we get more hands-on and go a little bit more into actual practical use. So appreciate everybody's interest there and everyone who signed up. We've got over, I think, 800 people who's signed up for sessions. So just really pumped to see this come to life and work with all you a little bit more directly.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, so we're going to talk with me first about human-centered AI ethics and accessibility. So a couple things that I would like to share. So during my master's, I was really concentrated and researching on how accessibility works within different technological programs, how I can design better in terms of the UI UX, and overall making sure that everything is accessible for every type of person using technology. So one tool that I recommend, and I also work within the blind community here in Boulder. And if anyone's interested, it is an international group called Achilles International. It's an amazing organization working with athletes. And what we do is we guide them on trails and hikes, and we're able to interact with them and also offer a chance for not only to improve mental health, but also physical well-being. And so this is a great organization. And so one application that I've used, and I highly recommend people check out, this is an app by Be My Eyes. And so when you go to this, let me go ahead and make sure that I am sharing my screen so you can watch the video real quick and see how this works. So this is Be My Eyes, the next evolution of accessibility. And what this does, this is their AI product that they just released, I would say, last year. So we can go ahead and take a look at this video.
Introducing the future, a new era of assistant. Be my fashion advisor.
Take picture. Ask question. A blue sweater with a high neckline.
Be my green thumb.
Take picture. Ask question. This looks like an eucalyptus plant.
Be my translator.
It appears to be a bottle of 𝐤𝐢𝐜𝐤𝐬, a Chinese rice wine.
Be my maitre d'.
The second picture shows a page titled House Favorites. Would you like me to read out specific options?
Be my gym partner.
Then turn right and walk until you reach the first set of machines. The treadmills will be on your left.
Be my map.
Transfer to the central line and take the tube to Tottenham Court Road.
I have my autonomy back.
Be my guide.
It appears to contain various types of drinks such as 𝐤𝐞𝐧𝐀𝐈.
Be my gateway.
A white dress with a high neckline and long sleeves. It has a layered skirt with a scalloped hair.
Be my AI. Be my eyes.
So pretty amazing that this has the opportunity to give another approach to people within working within these tools, and people with disabilities are able to access and use this. So actually, once you are using the app, you can then scroll over certain items. It will tell you specific things. And so this has been truly amazing for people that that have disabilities and need another set or pair of eyes or help when they are using specific technology. Amazing, amazing tool. Please check it out. It's free to access, so you can go through and you can check that out. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is also Access Now. You can access this app as well. This is also for accessibility. So this is obviously designed for people with disabilities and how they can use it to search for different places. They can discover places nearby them. There's a map to take them specific directions. And so they can really have a chance to go in and discover a new technology and have this app guide them through all these different ways of life, whether you're going to specific restaurant shops, going on hiking trails, hotels, attractions, and parks. It is really a truly amazing application as well. So please take a look at that one. And the last one that I want to touch on is through looking at all these different applications that we've been working on. Take a look and see, do you feel that this is intuitive? You can even tab through the entire site and see, okay, do I find this to be accessible for everyone? With this option over here in ChatGPT, even in 5 and in 4.0 for free, they do have a voice mode. So you can come in here and you can use the voice mode to talk to the application, which is really, really helpful. And so you can also turn on voiceover. You can go through these specific tools and see how intuitive they are for people that may not have sight, that may have to use a keyboard to go through and tab through things. They can't use a mouse. So think of different, also people that are colorblind. How are they going to be accessing these different applications? Are they able to see everything? Are they able to understand, the way that things are laid out? And so make sure that you're going through and you're aware, especially when you're designing too. Now you're going to be designing in vibe coding. You're going to be going through and make sure that you have everyone's interest in front. You're understanding how all users can be using this technology, not just everyone with all 5 senses. How can every type of user be using this technology? So really keep that in mind when you are going through and you are designing for the future. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and we will move on to a quick ethical checklist for media generation. Once again, consent matters. So if the material involves real people, faces, voices, likeness, you do need permission. So if you are going to be using someone else's voice, make sure that you are getting their permission to use it. Same with their voice and same with their likeness. Avoid misrepresentation. I'm sure you all have heard about all of these things called deep fakes, fake news, false endorsements, especially during this political climate. So make sure that we are avoiding misrepresentation. So don't create content that could be harmful, misleading, or defamatory, especially using our voices or people that are consistently lecturing or within the public eye to make misrepresentation of us. So be conscious of the content that you are creating. bias and stereotypes. Obviously, be careful not to reinforce harmful or exclusionary portrayals of people. So make sure that you are really, really safe in using these different tools, and you're aware of the bias and the specific stereotypes. And transparency, make sure that you're disclosing when you're using AI generation. So for instance, if you used it within journalism, if you used it anywhere within education, I have my students make sure that they are citing and attributing their sources. So if they are collaborating with an AI generated tool, I make sure that they are citing that tool on the specific sources that they are putting in there, and especially with marketing as well. So anything within industry, anytime that you are using any of these tools, make sure that you are citing and you are attributing your sources. A couple copyright considerations. So when you are training these specific models, or when these models are being trained, there are many AI models that are trained on copyrighted works, so without explicit permission. So it means that your generated output, it may raise legal questions, so if it's too close to an original work. So if you are using specific tools that may be trained on some of these works, make sure that you're going in and you are double checking. Remember, I told you at the very bottom of every single tool, it says some of this information may not be correct. Make sure that you're going through and making sure that your work is original. So collaborating and making sure that everything is original. You're working with these models and you're coming up with an original output. You can also go through their privacy policies and regulations, and you can take a look at all these different tools and all of the regulations that they have set up within their tools for copyright considerations. Same thing with the output imitating a living artist style, which closely resembles a copyrighted photo, song, or video that may cause an infringement. So make sure that we are going in and we are creating original works. And once again, one more, safe zones, using AI, like I just said, to generate original content. So not prompting to copy specific artists or works. That will reduce your legal risk when you are using these tools and this information. And my last one, once again, selling AI generated products. So anything that you're creating. So many people, like I said, they do sell AI generated art, stock photos, music, and books, but please be careful when doing so. Some marketplaces like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock, they allow AI works if they're labeled, and there are other platforms that do ban them. So make sure that you're checking within their safety regulations on where you can be selling these specific products. And also copyright ownership. So many countries like the US, pure AI creations may not be copyrightable unless there's a significant human contribution. Make sure you are contributing and you are creating things on your own and collaborating with these tools so that you can sell them, and it is protecting legally copies that also may be tricky, but make sure that you are putting in your full creation. And also, even in the higher tiers, it will give you even more chance to go through and make sure that whatever you're creating, you do have the privacy and the policies are set up within that specific tool. Make sure that you are going in and you're reading all of these regulations, whichever tool you are using. And then once again, best practice, add substantial human editing, curate it, transform it so your role is clearly creative and you're not just clicking generate. And I think we've all seen that, is go in, create your own prompt and generate that as well. Okay, and then I will go ahead and let Sam have the floor.
Ooh, round of applause for Larissa, everybody. Well, round of key presses. Let's do that. Round of key presses. How about that? I appreciate everybody. This has been a phenomenal conversation that we've had over the last 5 days. So many people asked about vibe coding. So I figured we'd give a sneak peek, a little bit of a quick taste of what's possible. And I love it. We got random gibberish in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for giving the real feel that a live event would give. So thank you. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to actually walk through some of these concepts together. No matter where you are, if you've never heard of vibe coding or you've been vibe coding for the last 6 months, you're going to find something that's useful today. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to make sure we can all see it here. We're going to walk through some of this stuff together. So let me see if you can see this. Let me see if everyone can see my screen. How about now? Everyone see my screen? Let us know. Okay, I assume everybody can see it. Awesome. So what is vibe coding? That's the first question I think comes to a lot of people's mind. And so what it is an interesting conversation to be had, but just to boil it down, vibe coding is customizing, modifying, or creating an app, game, or UI using agentic AI coding tools. So at the root of it, the big operative word or operative phrase in this is using agentic AI coding tools. And so it's a subset of coding. So again, this is really important to understand, because if you think that, hey, I have to be a developer or I have to be a coder to use some of these tools or to even vibe code, you'd be missing out, because there's an opportunity for anyone to tackle this subset of coding. Now, will you need some of that skill set to be able to be more better at it, to be able to get better outputs? Yes. But what I would argue is it's the best place to start, because as you're doing it, the system will teach you. So what you're seeing here is I'm essentially able to talk in natural language to the AI, and then the AI does the work for me. So let's just say, in the past, if I was a developer and I ran into a bug, so there was a technical issue of my platform, I had to go figure it out myself and then solve it myself. And in this new world of vibe coding, I can just take a screenshot of what's broken or what's wrong, and then send that back to the same AI and say, fix this. And then as it's fixing it, it would explain to you what and how it's fixing. And so this is a great way for you to learn as you're building. And so even if you've never coded before, if you've never even touched the coding language, I recommend looking at some of the tools in the market. I'm not going to cover those today because we have enough time. So I'm just going to talk through some use cases mainly. But there's tools out there like Cursor, Lovable, Bolt, 𝐆𝐞𝐧𝐀𝐈, Crew AI. There's so many out there that are really phenomenal for this. But at the end of the day, you're able to use them to either create novel functionality, create custom UI, UX, make entire web applications. And what's most valuable, I think people haven't even thought of yet, is personalized apps. This is truly where we are. The last time we were here was when the iPod got created. Because before, for those that maybe don't remember those days, before the iPod, you had to carry a bunch of CDs, or you had a tape. Essentially, you had a small amount of content you can carry with you at any one time. With the iPod, people can carry thousands of songs. They can carry entire experiences in their pocket. And so that's similarly with what we have. Same way you can make your own personalized playlists at the fly, listening to whatever you want. You'll be able to make your own apps for whatever use cases you need. And so this is a truly exciting time, and ultimately really the beginning of many, many other things. And so I wanted to give every one of you some cheat codes so that you could take advantage of this opportunity, no matter where you are in your level of technical skill or where you are in your life. There's an opportunity for everybody. So the what? What are we learning about? What is going on here? What are we going to talk about? I wanted to give you the what, and then we'll close out with the how. So this, all that I'm covering for you is a recap from our last 2 seasons of Intro to Vibe Coding. If you signed up for one of the workshops, we will be digging into these concepts in detail. So if you want to know, like, how do I go deeper on this? Definitely make sure you fill out the cool form and you select which dates you want to be involved in and choose one of the vibe coding dates. That'll make sure that you get a chance to do this even more. But what we're doing is 3 things. And these are really powerful skill sets that will arm you down the road for many things. So the first one is this concept of seeding. What I'm going to show you and teach you today is how you can literally take any document, meaning any theory, any framework, and literally use them as seeds to gene splice and create new ideas and concepts. Because I know we all are just like end users of these tools, but underneath, the math is so interesting for these technologies. And so for those that watch the preview video or the pre-watch video for the first day, and some people say, man, this video is so technical, it's too much, what's going on? I definitely recommend going back and watching that video, because what it teaches you is really words, images, all things are being converted into these clouds. And those clouds essentially exist and contain all the vectors. And I know I'm using technical terms, but think of it like a space or a bubble that encapsulate any of those ideas and concepts. And so what I could do is I could take any document and turn it into this bubble or vector cloud, and then I can splice 2 vector clouds. And so think of like if you took 2 clouds and one is like blowing this way, the other one's blowing this way, I can combine those vectors, and then their net vector might be this way. But the coolest part about this, the vector this way is a thing or an idea or a concept. So for example, I can take man, and then I can take parent, and I get father. That is like mind-blowing concept, because all things, whether it's ideas, concepts, people, things, they now exist in a hyperbaric or hyperbolic space, meaning there's a ton of things that we all relate to daily. Like we can relate to, like names of things, people, places, associations, but numerically, that's what's powering all these tools. So you can use that to your favor. I can take the documents or any documents, literally combine them and ask the AI to make a new thing. The next thing we're going to walk through that really does all that, so the how we do it, that again will power all of what you're able to do, is sequential prompting. Even if you're not in, you haven't used agentic AI or you're not quite sure what that is, we've all done sequential prompting if we use ChatGPT. The idea is that you would ask a series of questions where the output from the first question goes into the input of the next question. So you can ask a question, hey, what day is it? And it can tell you the day. And then, okay, what time today should I go to work? It could use that day and then use your calendar, look at the work. So I'm using the output from each step to then feed into it. So based on the day and what time I go to work, what should I wear? So that ability for you to use prompts in a sequence, and then what they call in a recursive, use the output to go into the next one. We're going to dive into that as well. And then lastly, like the big skill you're going to learn is this concept of staking. And so I know that term sounds a little random. Like, what are we talking about here? But like vibe coding and building applications is like mountain climbing. And so you'll see me give you an example 1 second here that really breaks that down. But staking is the idea that as I'm climbing up the mountain, in this concept that we'll talk about, I'm able to create stakes in that ground so that I can work and do bigger, more complex things. And so staking, sequential prompting, and seeding are the skills that you'll get today that will help you throughout your lifetime. But how y'all feeling so far? Y'all following? Is this too technical? Yeah, it's almost like a save point. I want to hear a little bit in the crowd. How y'all feeling about this so far before I go forward? Yeah, hyperbolic space. I think that's a quotable. N-dimensional vector spaces. Yeah. Oh, yeah, good stuff here. Oh, yeah, I see y'all enjoying it. I appreciate it. Y'all liked all this? Thank you. Thank you. You got to try to find the sweet spot. Too technical or, too boring. I want to make sure everybody's happy. So, again, let me know again in the comments. Make sure you're enjoying it. You're following. It's kind of technical. I get it. I'm going to try to keep it as low level as possible. But, again, I want to give you guys stuff you can do, stuff you can use, stuff you can actually put to practice. So, with that said, let's jump in. Let's grow together. Here we go. So, any application can be measured in entropy. That is like, okay, what the hell? We going deeper, Sam? Yes. Bear with me. For those that don't know, entropy is a concept that, extends. It's like the universe itself has this concept of entropy. So I'm going to use it in a little bit more of a different context, but you can use all you know about entropy as a good foundation. And so if you think about systems or technology, we as developers or people that are building apps, we code these applications. And so coding itself is a concept of organization. And anytime you want to organize things, you're essentially, pouring energy into a system. And so that's why as applications become bigger, they become larger, they have more room for error, they have more challenges, it's harder to learn. It's because the general energy that it took to make it goes into that system, and then to consume, use, leverage that system, you're engaging with that same entropy. So entropy is such an important concept because otherwise there's no real way to measure or quantify all kinds of applications. But with this concept of entropy, you can really look at every application, whether it's a video game, all the way down to something like YouTube, and understand its complexity. And so complexity is the way that you can, understand an application's level of entropy. The more complex it is, and complexity could be in different places. For example, you go to Google, it's just a search bar. But underneath that simple search bar is billions worth of billions of research, development, learning, growing. And so that's, again, from a user perspective, you don't see all the entropy under the system. But under the hood, when you search for something, there's a magic trick of action going on. And so that is, again, a great way to understand entropy. You might not be able to always see it, but underneath it, you can measure everything from visual to functionality to audio, everything that makes that application, and quantify that in a level of complexity. And so I'm going to show you 3 applications just now that are live on our showcase. So if you go to the Academy and you have an OpenAI access, where you have an OpenAI key, you'll be able to leverage some of these. And then others, you'll just see that they work automatically. I'm just going to show 3 here and show you can compare these applications. So the first application we have is called GLX. And what this does essentially is it's a simple game. It's a one-click game where your goal is really to get the highest score. And so what you're going to do is, and if you want to know, you can just hover at the bottom here and it'll tell you kind of how it works. But you're going to click anywhere on the screen, and then essentially the orbs are going to hit them. And those, as they hit them, they're going to essentially explode. And so your goal is to get the highest chain reaction you can get to be able to drive this. So if you can just see here, if I click on one, boom, it starts hitting. Boom, more hit, boom, 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 boom. Hey, I'm getting the scores going up. Scores going up. Simple game, right? It's not that complex. I do one click, and then, based on that, it then tallies up your points. And then at the end, once the explosions all stop, or the chain reaction is kind of ran out of fuel, then boom, we're going to move into the finishing the stage. Let's see what that looks like here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Very simple application. If I click again, I'm now on stage 2. So I can do the same thing. So as you can see, very simple application, very straightforward. It's a game, essentially. So let's look at the next application. And then I'm going to switch here, change screens. So this application here is an interesting app where it lets you actually generate infographics. So it works the same as the other one. It works this, as just as any other application. I can just enter in some information and it generates an output. But if I scroll down, I can connect this to my API key. So I can go to ChatGPT. For those that are, this might be for people that are more advanced, I know, so bear with us. But essentially you can, connect this to an open model. And then from there, you can test it once I put my key in. And I can use GPT proper to be able to drive this. And if I just say this, I got 100 dogs, 200 cats. Then I can just say that, or I'll just load in some test data. There we go. Again, this is going to take that data, look it through. And I can say here, go ahead and generate me an app key. And this is going to take all that data that's there, and it's going to generate an infographic. And so, is this more or less complex than the game? Put in the chat. Let us know. What do you think? Is this application have more entropy or less as that's generating there? And I'll take a look at the chat, see what everyone's saying. There we go. Less. I got a few mores, a few less. Awesome. While that's cooking, I'm going to show you the next one so we can cook multiple at the same time. So that's growing. This application is called One Shot. This one's actually up and available for anybody. It does need an API key like before. So if I click settings, I can then add a key here in my OpenAI key, and I can save and then test it, and then that'll let it be working. So once it's in there, I can actually upload any document in here. So I'm going to grab a document just for the example here, and I can drag that in. And then this here will actually take that document, and I can actually just grab it, browse files. Let me go to seed. Go to my downloads. Ooh, okay, let me grab that there. And boom. Then once a document's uploaded, it will view all the details on that document. And I can just click this one button, and this will start generating an application. So literally creating the scripting, the HTML, everything. Simple question. Is this more complex or less complex than the previous 2 apps I showed? Let us know. And while that's going, hey, we have our infographic. Hey, how's that look? There's no like wrong spellings. It's actually interesting. It looks pretty compelling. It's kind of crazy what's possible, right? And so you just saw me show you 3 applications. And all those applications, if you didn't have a unified framework, it would be hard to compare them all together. But now with this new understanding of entropy, you can now understand that all apps or all products, all tools can all be compared. And with that framework, now you understand this concept of entropy mountain. The ability for you to make more and more complex apps is what lets you go from making something that's a simple game to a full-fledged application like YouTube. And then if you think about where we are, you know, you might be today, you might have a little limited coding or you might have no coding experience. It doesn't mean you can't climb up this mountain. And so all tools, no matter what products or use cases, they all exist at different points in the complexity curve. And when you think about complexity, it takes the form of what it looks like and then what it does. There is another level, another layer to that, which is its output or what it can make. And so if you take those 3 things, the visual, its functionality, and then what it produces, you can quantify how much entropy is in that product. The more entropy or the more complex, the harder it is to develop. And this is something that, again, is just a very basic physics concept. And this is why for most people that have done vibe coding, there's limits in how complex you can go. It gets harder and harder the more robust your application becomes. It's because of this physics concept of entropy, which is the more relationships between all the things I've built there are, the more the agent or the AI has to understand as it's working with that. So I know we got a little technical, everybody, and bear with me, we wanted to go a little deeper, but the ability for you to understand this will transform how you use software in general. You'll always be trying to think and understand how much entropy is in this system. How complex is it? And then of that, how would I remake this application? And so, the problem and the challenge of this is like, it's almost like diamond testing. For anybody that's seen those tools where you can take it and put up to a diamond, you can understand like how well it works. Well, it's one thing to see what it says it does. It's a whole nother to see what it does. And we've all experienced this on mobile apps where you see these mobile app game commercials and then you're like, oh man, that game was kind of fun. And then, you kind of give in and download that game. And then you realize it's nowhere near or like what you expected or what you said you were going to get. Like that, again, is a challenge of like application and creation, all because of the same concept of the entropy mountain. So to be able to understand or figure out how things work and where they're going, that's a key skill set. And everything that we talked about today, I'll be going deeper on in those sessions Tuesday and Thursday, starting next week. So we'll skip over a little bit here, but the key thing now is the how. So I showed you a little bit of what is vibe coding, like what are the concepts, what is the entropy mountain. For the last few minutes of the session here today, I'm going to be covering the how. But before I do that, how y'all feeling? What y'all thinking about? Y'all like this kind of concept? Is this too deep or too technical for you? Let me know.
Sam, a lot of them want to know where to find an API key.
So I'll show you here. So I'll just go ahead and pull this up 1 second. Let me share the screen here. Oh, wrong one. There we go. This one here. So if you go into platform.openai.com, you do have to have an OpenAI account. And so this is, again, for those who might already have an OpenAI account. There's more coming. So if you're not today able to access, know that there's going to be free tools coming out. There's going to be, the ability for people to run these models in their browser. So expect more capability here. But you go to OpenAI, you go to the settings, and you click where it says create a secret key. And then you just type in your name, and then it'll let you create a key that then you can use. That's a pretty private key. So you can't just like share that key with anybody. It's your personal key so that people can, submit data through your account. But again, for anyone that's got ChatGPT Pro or, ChatGPT account, you can go to platform.openai.com. And then you'll see the section called API keys. You click on that and then you can create your own API key. And other questions in the chat, anybody? Great. You guys all like it? Okay, some people didn't see the result. Let me just show you that it generated. I'll share this. So this is the results of that infographic generator. It generated that chart on the right side. So again, I just put in any random text or any kind of data I have, and then it generates. And so I know this is super high concept, Phil. Shout out to Phil out there. He's like, yo, I don't know if anybody got that, but hopefully y'all did. Okay. So I appreciate that. So let me grab this here. Yeah. So for those that don't know, you can create an account on ChatGPT, and then you can sign up for their pro account, or you can get access to the cheapest version of it. I forgot what it's called. And then you can go to platform.openai.com, and that's when you can get your API keys generated. All right, this last part should work for everybody. Again, I figured I could go a little bit technical for those that want that. And then for people that are like, hey, give me something I can use right now, we're going to finish on the how. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. So we're going to do a couple things together. First off, I'm going to show you sequential prompting. This is something we can all do. We've all done it before. So just for this use case here, we're going to generate what's called a product requirements document. This is going to be a document that anybody can use to understand how to make a product idea come real. So what you can do here is you can define what you want the AI to do, and then essentially tell it to think about it first, and then you ask it to do something. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. If I go into ChatGPT and I switch over here, I can say, I want you to be a product creator who takes ideas and turns them into full fleshed out product requirements documents. Are you ready? And it might say something like, yeah, I'm ready. All right, now I'm going to say, can you take, what I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to slide over here and I'm going to grab a document. The documents that I'm using today, you will find in the folder. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that here. We have the Academy Drive. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to share this screen so you can see this. Then I'm going to share this for you all here. All right. So for those who can't, who wonder, like, where do I find this? Inside of the Academy, you'll see that there's a link to additional resources. And in those additional resources folder here, you'll see a bunch of documents. You'll see access to all the slides from today, what we covered. You'll see access to everything that we've talked about, all the individual tools we provided. You'll see links and information on that. But you'll see these two new documents called Seed in front. I'm going to use the one called Consciousness Continuum. Definitely go check that document out. If you click on it, it's a document that breaks down in detail how consciousness works and how all things can be compared. And so like that document, you'll be able to pull up and actually download that document, and you're going to use it for your assignment. You're going to download that document and use it to import into whatever generative AI tool you're using and use it to generate product ideas. So just to show you here, I'm going to do that exactly on the call. So I've taken that document, I downloaded it. You can find it on the Academy for anybody that doesn't know. And I can take that document and then import it and say, can you break down the concepts of this document? And so you see, like, it's breaking it down, it's thinking about it, it's trying to understand it. And what this does is like, think of it like seasoning your pot before you're about to cook. I'm allowing for the system to like pre-warm, so giving it some context. So when I get ready to actually ask it to do something, it kind of understands the document before it starts doing. I know you could just literally throw the document and say, do something, but with the amount of like tokens or like credits that's using up, it's better sometimes for you to separate it out and then ask it afterwards. So now that it understands this document, it understands the concepts of how it creates a unified equation for quantifying consciousness across things. I know, crazy, right? But I use this document for a real proof. You don't have to understand this stuff. You don't even have to be technical to leverage these technologies and what I'm sharing with you. So purposely, I chose the consciousness continuum because that's an example of like something that's complex, deep, has a whole lot of concepts to it, but you don't even have to manage that or understand that. Let the AI do the work. So in this scenario, now that I've conditioned it, I've warmed up the oven, I've seasoned the pot, it's time to create stuff. So now I can say, can you create 10 ideas from 10 product ideas, PRD, so product requirement document ideas from this document. And then boom, now it's going to give me my 10 ideas. This is what you're going to be working on for your assignment. You're going to generate these ideas, and then you're going to share those with us. But I'm going to show you one more step. What I can do now is I can do post conditioning. So it's giving me 10 ideas. I can say, can you create a scoring framework with 6 measures, each measured out of 10, and final number scored overall out of 100, and rank each idea. Again, you see, I didn't have to come up with the metrics. I didn't have to know what exactly I'm going to score and why and how. I let the system do that. So this is, again, it's so important for you to understand. Like, you have the ability to like reach to higher heights of technical and understanding, and then let the system work your way up to where you get better. This is like an infinite growth hack, y'all. So definitely leverage these skill sets. Now that it's giving me these new ideas ranked, I can then say, can you generate 10 ideas that score better? Now what I'm doing is I'm doing what's called, anchoring. I'm giving the tool the ability to like create some ideas, use those ideas as a scoring floor to then think up better and better ideas. So again, this is something that, again, you just now learned, which is called sequential prompting, and you just learned how to seed documents. And so just kind of walking you through, if I take 2 documents that are generated, they're going to generate different things. And so if I take a document and it generates, a detailed idea, so these ideas that came out, I can then say, like I showed you here, can you actually flesh out this idea? Can you build a full PRD document using this idea that any AI generation tool can use? And so then it's going to take that idea and actually flesh it out into a full product requirements document. I can then take that document and post it into any AI generation tool, and it'll use it to generate the product. I can literally do it right here in ChatGPT. And so we've covered a lot. I wanted to make sure everyone had a good taste of something, but also had ability to practically apply it. And so what you'll see is like what I just did is called seeding. I could take that unified theory of consciousness document and any other document, whether it's another theory. So I can go to like, there's great sites like, 2-minute papers that are on YouTube. You can go find, they have tons of great videos of AI technologies. You can go to the comments and actually find the links to these documents. So any PDFs for any theories, you can combine them together and then see what ideas get generated from them. This is infinite fun. I recommend anyone go try it. You can use the unified theory of consciousness document as your starter, but then go take other documents, try with different documents. It doesn't just mean for theories. I can take a document from a framework. So like go to OpenAI's website and find the details that break down how their API work. And then I can go grab that unified theory of consciousness document, that seed document from our folder in the resources tab. And then I can take those two and combine them and ask it to generate me product ideas that leverage consciousness and OpenAI's image generation API. So you see how like I didn't have to know coding as much. I didn't have to know how the application works or even all the concepts to let the system do the heavy lifting. And I get to explore in a fun way. So we covered a lot and we talked about it a lot, but I think the biggest thing to kind of bring home is that the ability for you to seed documents, then use sequential prompting as a tool will give you so many things, no matter what technical level you are. And hey, I'm excited to see what you produce and what you're able to create. So I know we're going to wrap up time. We have the last few minutes, but this is just a taste of some of the stuff you're going to see next week. And we'll be continuing to dive into these concepts going forward. So how y'all feel? Did y'all learn some stuff today? Here we go.
That's great. Thank you, Sam. That was amazing. I learned. That was amazing. Thank you so much. And we do have a guest from CU Boulder, Caroline Hara, that will join us the last 5 minutes. Hi, Caroline. If you'd like to introduce yourself and then share your screen.
Hey. Oops. Make sure I'm doing this right. Oh, maybe I'm not doing it right. Well, it says it's here, but sorry, I apologize. I'm supposed to have it up. It's not working like it was before. I'm sorry.
That's okay. While you're figuring that out, I can go ahead and discuss with everyone the assignment and the task for the final day.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and do that. So real quickly, let me share my screen with everyone. All right. So we'll go ahead and if you can see this. All right. So what I did, I was reading the chat and a lot of people were really, really excited about this. And some people were a little confused and that's okay. So I gave 2 options. So one option, this is going to be Sam's. So vibe coding, if you can open any Gen AI tool of your choice and use seeding and sequential prompting to generate 5 product ideas and share them via the form. Discuss in the forum what Gen AI tools were used, what seeding documents did you use, and what did you find to be interesting? Submit that for your final certificate and then save the text prompts to be uploaded with the submission. If you felt that this is a bit over your head and a bit too technical for you, I gave you a second option. So there's 2 choices. So you can go ahead and open any of the accessibility apps or tools that I shared with you and experiment using them. Try tabbing, using VoiceOver, or use voice mode to see the user experience. Discuss what Gen AI tools were used, what did you use it for, and what did you find to be successful. Submit for a final certificate, especially with your prompts. So hopefully that is helpful. And you can choose one or the other, whatever you prefer. For those that felt a little overwhelmed during vibe coding, that's okay. If you want, I really do suggest trying it out, trying vibe coding and doing that. You can do both too. If you want to do both of them, do both of them. That would be terrific if you have the time. But you do have 2 different options if you would like, but I would highly recommend trying vibe coding. And once again, congrats. You completed the last day of the Intro to Generative AI journey. Once again, everything's in the AI Academy. Submit everything by Wednesday, September 17th. Certificates will be sent out September 25th. And then we just already talked about this, free access to Intro to Vibe Coding. This will be in the slides. Free access to Intro to Vibe Coding, 1,000 free credits, Perplexity Pro, 12 months for free. Here are the the QR codes for everything. So I'll give you a minute with those. And then we will hand this off to Caroline. And thank you once again. Really, really appreciate you all this week. This has been truly amazing. So thank you all so much. All right, I'll go ahead and stop sharing.
There we are.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Caroline Hara, Associate Director of Marketing and External Relations for the College of Engineering and Applied Science at CU Boulder. I'm here to spend just 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about our new Professional Masters of Science in Artificial Intelligence. In general, as with all of our graduate engineering programs, we endeavor to combine academic rigor with real-world relevance to prepare you to lead an industry or academia in a setting that inspires you to think bigger, live bolder, solve complex problems with creativity, clarity, and impact. CU Engineering is a top 20 graduate engineering program overall, and we're number 11 with respect to public universities. And of course, Boulder is one of the top 10 places to live if you choose our residential programs. The new Artificial Intelligence Master's Program will prepare engineers, applied scientists, and technical professionals for career advancement in technical leadership roles. You can be a new grad or you can be 10, 20 years out in your career. This program is equally relevant to you. It's a fully accredited program, both our residential as well as our Coursera course. The curriculum is specifically aligned to industry best practices in this growing and evolving field of artificial intelligence. Courses are led by research experts like those who participated in this program today, including Tom Ye, at a top 1% global university. 30 credits of graduate level coursework will help you earn your degree. Interestingly, the coursework also includes ethics, interdisciplinary topics outside of computer science, and 9 credit hours of electives in a variety of AI disciplines. Here are quick QR codes for you if you're interested in either the Coursera or the residential program. What's interesting about the Coursera option is it's performance-based. CU Boulder has revolutionized online programming in that way, in that you don't need to submit transcripts or apply to the program. You can start today and immediately begin to learn. You can also pay as you go. So it's also economically advantageous for you. We also have the residential program, which we are now accepting applications for fall 2026. That's an in-person experience right here in beautiful Boulder. And that follows the typical admissions sort of requirements. If you go to these links through the QR codes, you can learn a lot more. So we hope you'll join us, be a part of an inclusive community where collaboration, curiosity, and diverse perspectives drive meaningful discovery, where you'll work alongside award-winning faculty and explore the emerging fields of artificial intelligence. We hope to see you. Thank you, Larissa.
Thank you so much, Caroline. All right. Reach out if you have any questions to Caroline. You can also reach out to myself. We can connect you. And hopefully all of these new learning, oh my gosh, there's so much learning opportunities going on. And it's fantastic that all of this is happening right now within AI. So please stay in touch. If there's anything else that you need, let us know. Sam, any parting words for us?
So grateful. Thank every one of you for taking time to join. I mean, I'm never gonna live that down. I really have to focus on, I appreciate you all because I'm going to focus on how I present. So thank you all so much. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that Cookie Monster emoji. Keep them coming, y'all.
Yes.
We will be sharing the links in email individually. So whatever day you signed up for, we'll be reaching out to that group and then saying, here's your link to sign up. It will be in a more intimate kind of a setup. So it's not going to be like a YouTube. It's going to be a Zoom or a Google Meet, but we'll be able to meet together and really go deeper on some of the concepts. I thank everybody. It's been a battle. So many people are like, I want more technical. Other people are like, I want it more simple. So we had to, for Friday, try to give everybody a little taste of what they wanted, but there's so much more to come with our academy. This was a beta trial run. Can you imagine? So what we're going to be doing in 3 weeks, we're going to be launching the actual full version of the academy. So you'll be seeing more courses coming from us. But overall, thank you all for joining. And Larissa, thank you for being our key host, our lead instructor. Give a round of applause for Larissa, everybody. Let the keys do what they do.
And right back at you, Sam. Thank you so much for moderating with me this week. This has been fantastic. Sharing all of your technical skills. It's been amazing. So thank you for everything.
If y'all want a round 2, let us know.
Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. Reach out with any questions and let us know. Bye-bye.
Bye.